Murder, betrayal, power. These are the threads that weave through some of the most shocking crimes in British history. From kings and queens to poets and priests, these stories reveal the dark side of ambition and the fragility of human life. Today, we dive into 6 infamous murders that shook the nation and still haunt us centuries later. 1. Thomas Becket, 1170. The murder that made a martyr. It was a cold December night in 1170 when 4 knights stormed Canterbury Cathedral. Their target? Thomas Becket, the Archbishop of Canterbury. Becket had once been a close ally of King Henry II, but their friendship turned toxic when Becket began championing the church's power over the crown. The king's infamous words, "Will no one rid me of this turbulent priest?" were all the knights needed to act. They found Becket at the altar and cut him down in a brutal attack. But what Henry didn't expect was the public outcry. Becket's death turned him into a martyr, with pilgrims flocking to Canterbury to mourn him. Even the king was forced to do penance. If social media had existed, this murder would have broken the internet. 2. George Villiers, 1st Duke of Buckingham, 1628. The assassination of a royal favorite. George Villiers was the man everyone loved to hate. As King Charles I's closest confidant, he amassed immense power and wealth. But his arrogance and political blunders made him a target. In August 1628, a disgruntled soldier named John Felton stabbed Villiers to death in Portsmouth. Felton claimed Villiers was to blame for England's military failures. The public reaction was divided. Some celebrated the assassination, while others mourned the loss of the king's favorite. Sound familiar? Political assassinations, like those of Joe Cox and Sir David Ames, show that this dark trend continues to this day. 3. Christopher Marlowe, 1593. The mysterious death of a literary genius. Christopher Marlowe was one of the brightest stars of Elizabethan England, a playwright and poet whose works, like Dr. Faustus, captivated audiences. But his life was cut short at just 29, stabbed in a Deptford tavern after a fight over a bill, or so the official story goes. Conspiracy theories abound. Was Marlowe killed for his political views? Was it because of his work as a spy? Or was it something more personal? His death remains one of history's great mysteries, leaving us to wonder what masterpieces he might have written had he lived. 4. Edward II, 1327. A king's gruesome end. Edward II's reign was a train wreck of scandal and mismanagement. Deposed by his wife, Queen Isabella, and her lover, Roger Mortimer, Edward was imprisoned in Berkeley Castle. His death, even more controversial. The most gruesome theory claims he was killed with a red-hot poker. Whether true or not, Edward's fate highlights the brutal realities of power struggles in medieval England. In many ways, his story mirrors modern tales of domestic violence and betrayal. 5. Amy Robsart, 1560, a Tudor mystery. Amy Robsart's death is the stuff of Tudor drama. Married to Robert Dudley, a favorite of Queen Elizabeth I, Amy was found dead at the foot of a staircase at just 28. Officially, it was ruled an accident, but whispers of foul play persist. Did Dudley orchestrate her murder to clear the way for a marriage to Elizabeth? The truth remains buried, but the scandalous tale feels ripped straight from a courtroom drama. 6. Henry Darnley, 1567. The explosion that shook Scotland. Henry Darnley, the second husband of Mary, Queen of Scots, met a gruesome end. On February 10, 1567, an explosion destroyed the house where he was staying. But here's the twist. Darnley's body was found in the garden, strangled, not killed by the blast. Suspicion immediately fell on Mary and the Earl of Bothwell, who later became her husband. Whether they were involved or not, the murder contributed to Mary's downfall and remains one of history's most intriguing whodunits. The fragility of power. These murders aren't just tales of violence. They're stories of ambition, betrayal, and the dangerous dance of power. From the halls of Canterbury Cathedral to the streets of Elizabethan England, these crimes remind us that even the most powerful figures are not immune to the darkest sides of human nature. What do these stories tell us about the world we live in today? And how many more secrets are still waiting to be uncovered?